I was staring at my screen, lost in a 3 a.m. rabbit hole, looking for a side hustle that didn't need a pile of startup cash, a marketing degree, or all of my free time. Honestly, I was about to give up. I was convinced the perfect side hustle, low cost, low skill, and actually interesting, was a total myth. And then I found it. Tucked away in this weird corner of the internet, people were talking about something called brandable domains. The more I read, the more I started thinking of them as nested domains, these little hidden gems of creativity. It sounded a bit technical, but I quickly realized this was it. This was the opportunity I was looking for. Now I'm generating passive income just by being creative, and I didn't spend a single dime to get started. In this video, I'm going to show you my exact two-part strategy that you can literally start using today, right after you finish watching. Alright, before we jump into the strategy, let's get on the same page. When I talk about finding these nested domains, you might be thinking of complex coding or high-stakes website flipping. Forget that. Domain flipping, buying a name hoping to resell it for more, is a real thing, but it takes money and a bit of luck. This is different. Think of yourself as a digital real estate scout, but instead of scouting for property, you're scouting for ideas. Every single day, thousands of new businesses, apps, and startups are launched, and every single one of them needs a short, catchy, brandable name that isn't already taken. The demand for unique domains is exploding, especially with new industries like AI and Web3. All the obvious names like cars.com were gone decades ago. The real gold now is in creative, made-up words. Think about Zynga or Hulu. Those words meant nothing before they became huge brands. That's the world we're playing in. It's about finding those hidden gems, those little combinations of letters tucked away like treasure. And the best part? You don't have to be a branding genius. You just need to be a little creative. That's where my two-part strategy comes in, and we're starting with a method that costs you absolutely nothing. This first strategy is for everyone, especially if you have $0 to start with. This is how I got my foot in the door, and it's honestly one of the most accessible side hustles I've ever found. It's not about buying or selling anything yourself. Instead, you're just submitting ideas. There are branding marketplaces and naming contest sites out there that connect businesses looking for creative names with creative people like you. Your job is to brainstorm these names. Think short 4 or 5 letter words that sound cool, are easy to say, and don't have a prior meaning. You submit these ideas to the platform and that's it. You don't buy the domain or build a website. The platform handles the boring stuff, listing, marketing, and selling. If a startup sees a word you submitted and decides to buy the domain, you get a commission. That payout could be a few hundred or even a few $1,000s, all for a word you thought of in like 5 minutes. This is passive income in its purest form. You do the creative work once, and it can pay off months or even years later without you doing anything else. So how do you actually do it? It's a simple 3-step process. First, brainstorm. This is the fun part. Open a blank document and just let your mind wander. Think about sounds you like or letter combinations that roll off the tongue. Look at existing brands for inspiration. What makes their names stick? For me, it was like a fun creative puzzle. Second pro tip, use AI to help you out. There are free AI-powered name generators out there that can spit out hundreds of ideas in seconds, often checking for availability at the same time. This helps you work smarter, not harder. Third, you submit your best ideas to one of these brandable name marketplaces. Their system will check out your submissions, and if they see potential, they'll add them to be sold. The beauty of this is that it's a pure numbers game with no financial risk. You're not gambling with your money, you're just putting your creativity out there. Maybe you submit 10 names and none sell. No big deal, but maybe one of them does, and suddenly you've got a few $100s of seed money for the next part of our strategy. If your brain is already spinning with ideas for cool names, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Because what I'm about to show you next is how you can take the profits from this first strategy or a small investment and scale it into an income stream you completely control. Welcome to Part 2, the Portfolio Builder Strategy. This is where you go from being an idea scout to a property owner. This is for when you've made your first few $100 from the zero-cost method, or if you're cool with making a small investment, say $50 to $100, to build your own collection of digital assets. Instead of just submitting ideas, you're now going to register valuable domain names yourself and cash in directly. There are a few powerful ways to do this, so you can pick what fits your style. First is domain parking. This is the most passive option. You register a domain and park it with a service that displays ads on a simple landing page. When visitors click on those ads, you earn money. This works best for domains that might get random type-in traffic. Second, you can use your domains for affiliate marketing. Instead of a page of random ads, you can build a super simple one-page site. On it, you could write a short review of a product and pop in your affiliate link. If someone buys through your link, you get a commission. Third, there's domain leasing. This is an awesome way to generate recurring income. If you own a really great brandable domain, a startup might want to use it but just can't afford to buy it outright. You can lease it to them for a monthly or annual fee, so you keep the asset while creating a steady cash flow. Fourth, the classic domain flipping. This is simply the art of buying low and selling high. You find undervalued domains, maybe expired ones with some SEO juice left or brandable names no one's noticed yet, and then you sell them for a profit. This takes a bit more research, but the returns can be huge. And finally, if you want to look toward the future, there's an emerging concept of Web3 domains. Some new platforms are exploring models where you can own a top-level domain, like .yourbrand, and potentially earn royalties when people register names under it. This is definitely a more advanced, forward-looking strategy, but it shows where things could be headed. So how do you build this portfolio? The steps are pretty straightforward. First, research. Use those same AI tools to find trending keywords and brandable names. Look for domains that are short, memorable, and end in good extensions like .com, or newer ones like .ai or .io. Second, register. Use a trusted registrar to buy your domains. When you're building a portfolio, you want to make sure it's secure. And third, monetize. Pick your strategy: parking, leasing, flipping, and list your domains on major marketplaces to get them in front of buyers all over the world. This strategy takes a small investment, but it gives you full control and a much higher income ceiling. When I first started, I was pretty skeptical. I tried the zero-cost strategy and spent one evening brainstorming about 50 random made-up words. I submitted them and honestly kind of forgot about it. Then 3 months later, an email popped up. One of my submissions, a 5-letter word that sounded a bit futuristic, had been bought by a new tech app for $450. That $450 was pure profit. I took that cash and rolled it right into the portfolio builder strategy. I bought my first 10 domains for about $15 each. I parked 5 of them, which made a few bucks a month, and I listed the other 5 for sale. Less than 2 months later, I sold one of those domains for $1,200. That's the power of this. You start with zero risk, generate some cash, and then reinvest it to build a real portfolio of assets that can make you money for years. My biggest tips for you are simple. First, be consistent. Just set aside a little time each week to brainstorm names or look for domains. Second, start with the zero-cost method. It's the perfect way to learn how it all works and build your confidence. And third, reinvest what you make early on. That's how you start the snowball effect that turns a small side hustle into something significant. Anyone can do this. So there you have it, my 2-part strategy for generating income with creative domains. You start by submitting brandable name ideas without spending a dime, and then you use those profits to become a portfolio owner, unlocking income through parking, leasing, and flipping. You have the complete blueprint. You don't need a big budget or technical skills, you just have to take the first step. So what's the first creative domain name that pops into your head? Drop it in the comments below. Let's get a brainstorm going. And of course, if you got value from this, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In my next video, I'm doing a deep dive into the best AI tools for domain research, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Click the link at the bottom of the description. Please subscribe and hit the like button.